Good evening. So this is Marc Lowe in Tokyo, and I did a brief talk on humachinations lying down the other day. So I decided to do a brief one on Beyond the Body, the third part in this series I introduced with To Be Human, published as Marc Lowe. It's not this dark Shroud, which is a separate electronica, beat-heavy, dark industrial dance project. Marc Lowe is still Marc Lowe, and Marc Lowe will still continue to produce music more than this dark Shroud likely, though I think in some ways, weirdly, this dark Shroud may be more accessible, which is to say it's not really popular music in the sense of, it's, when I play it for certain people, they say, oh, it sounds like Nine Inch Nails or whatever, it's like the frame, this, what is so-called industrial music, electronic music, or it's techno or whatever. It's not any of those things exactly. It's influenced by those things to some degree. But Marc Lowe, the musician, the person, of course, but the musician or the artist name, so I've got so many things actually that I haven't released. And I'm kind of taking a break from making any sort of working on a particular album. I just finished this Dark Shroud 9, which is basically going back to pieces from the past, electronic pieces that I think are strong and somewhat accessible but dark, like Black Nail, like The Dial Is in the Bathroom, and others. Anyway, and I'm so rearranging them and making them, sort of bringing them up to date with new arrangements and vocals and stuff, and performing live under that name. But as Marc Lowe, I recently released this trilogy, triangle of albums, trilogy of albums. To Be Human, Humachinations, which I talked about in the last very brief 2-minute talk, and then Beyond the Body, which I also mentioned. Beyond the Body is now available. I mention it because it's now available. So don't miss it. It's got the Man and Machine 35-minute session on it, and some pieces with Kata Kamui playing this kind of ambient guitar and atmospherics. And it's got me playing sanshin, a 3-stringed instrument from Okinawa. The more typical one you might hear, traditional instrument from Japan, is called the shamisen. This is the Okinawan version. I bought it used at a music store several months ago. I don't even remember if it was late last year or early this year or something. And finally got a chance to use it live a couple times doing improv with a Buto dancer in February, and then finally recorded with it for the Man and Machine sessions, and the track Close Your Eyes that opens, and no, it's track 2 and then track, I think, 6. Almost opening and closing. Beyond the Body is the opening track. It's like an introduction with some beats in it and some bits from To Be Human and Humachinations. The spoken word bit is repeated there in part, and there are beats, and it's just an intro, and then it fades out into Close Your Eyes in 2 versions. One has kind of beats in kausulator, kaus paddo, in Japanese, the chaos pad, the kausulator, synth, and drums. And the second version elides that, and it's just the shamisen and my voice, mainly, and some other things, organic sounds. So, To Be Human, Humachinations, second part, and the third part, Beyond the Body, was the most recent Marc Lowe releases. I've also got this suite of also 3, but they're hour-long suites of called The Glass Sun. Actually, they're on YouTube, and if you look below, you scroll down a bit, you'll see I made a folder which has all 3 parts and a short talk on that, and I would like to at some point soon release those to Apple and Spotify and so on under Marc Lowe. Those are all There's actually stuff from the early Dark Shroud solo project on there. You can hear, you know, some of them, I think, maybe they're fragments, but they're, you know, like 2-3 minute long fragments of fairly lengthy fragments of like the original version of Fleshy Air and the original version of Undo, which I remixed for Vanity, This Dark Shroud this year, and some other This Dark Shroud arrangements on there, and then, you know, Marc Lowe solo stuff, a lot of electronic stuff, and some guitar stuff. I also did from that project. I pulled out some of the older acoustic stuff that I had done, including things like Fragile Reptile, which is about my ex-band breaking up, and that arrangement has some electric guitar and drums and stuff on it too, and acoustic, and I blended them and did some new things with them, and then just some like more or less straight acoustic vocal songs. And I made I guess you could call it a compilation called Revisited, which I'd also be, you know, like to be releasing at some point. It's on my Bandcamp, marclowe.bandcamp.com page. Most of the stuff I put on Bandcamp before I release it to Apple and YouTube and stuff, although, I mean officially, but you know, seems that not too many people are streaming, or at least not purchasing via Bandcamp, which is okay, but it's there. So if you want it, you can, and again, you don't have to purchase, or you can just stream it if you like, but you can listen to it there. So I guess that's all. I'm actually, one of the reasons I'm lying down like the other time I did a talk is I'm rather tired. But onward. And that's my talk for tonight on Marc Lowe, basically, and of course This Dark Shroud. I'll be performing on Wednesday this coming week, if I have the and I'm scheduled to perform. Right now I'm feeling a little bit tired, but and then the following week on the 21st at Kichijoji Neppo for the first time in ages. Like, maybe, no, it was earlier this year. It was earlier this year, but it was January, I think. Very early this year. So it's now July, so it's been like half a year. First time in half a year I'll be performing at a noise and ambient event as This Dark Shroud with the electronic beats and stuff, and keyboard and noise maker, my little synth box that makes noise from Castle. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks, and check out the new version of Black Nail from This Dark Shroud, the 9 album. I haven't released that anywhere yet, including Bandcamp. I'm waiting. You can hear North Star from the album on YouTube, and you can hear the new version of Black Nail on YouTube with the video I edited, taking footage from the 2018 version and kind of putting it through different effects and reversing. The reversed parts play forward now when they were originally reversed, and the originally forward parts play in reverse, and I did some different things with it to, you know, slowed it down and cut things and reshuffled and etc. So that's now on YouTube, and you can hear the new version, the new studio version with new vocals and everything, new arrangement. So I think that's all. I'm keeping it under 10 minutes, and we'll see whether I edit this or leave it as is. I might just leave it as is. We'll see. Thanks. Always, this is me. This is my life. I do this for me. That's it. Thanks. Signing off. Have a good Sunday if you're in the US, and if you're in Japan like me, have a nice rest, and see you on Monday, I guess. Or have a good week, a good day. Signing off from Tokyo, Marc Lowe, This Dark Shroud. Good night. Good night. See ya.